You're on the rant couch where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Uriel, who says, rant about Microsoft technically being more consumer friendly than Sony and Nintendo by having true backwards compatibility on the Xbox One, while Nintendo has ports and only NES games, and Sony lets you play old PS3 games on the PS4, but it's via streaming, which is garbage depending on internet speed. Well, okay. I don't know if that's the only metric for consumer friendliness. Like, they are definitely more consumer friendly in this one regard, which is funny because they were not in the previous generation. The Xbox 360 could only play like a limited number of Xbox games, and it was like they kept adding more, I guess, that it could be compatible with. I don't know. It was confusing. You know, the PS3 could play PS1 games on the original, but not PS2. That was strange. PS3 had a much better store of older games than the PS3 has. I still don't understand this fucking shit. Like, or PS4 rather. I don't understand how the PS3 had so many PS1 and PS2 games, mostly PS1 games, and the PS4 has none of them. I don't fucking get it. I don't know what it takes to make this happen. And the Switch is an abomination when it comes to compatibility. Like, Nintendo had been so fucking good for so long. Like, you know, you could play... I mean, the GameCube was a hard break because they started having disc-based games. So you couldn't play N64 on GameCube. That sucks. But you could play GameCube on the Wii. The Wii had a ton of games in its virtual console. You could play the Wii on the fucking Wii U. The Wii U had a decent number of games in its virtual console, not as impressive as the Wii. I don't know why, again. And now you got the Switch, and the Switch doesn't even have a virtual console, has no backwards compatibility, and the games are all $60. So, the Switch is a fucking nightmare, and the only thing that's good about it is that it happens to also be like the most versatile console, the most interesting one. It has the Nintendo games, it has, some of the better games of this generation, though not compared to the PS4. It's pretty, it hasn't come close to touching the amount the PS4 has yet. Not that the PS4 has a whole ton. I mean, this generation of games has had the fewest good games of any generation so far. I think that's pretty fucking fair to say, of all time. But, and probably the fewest games of any generation of all time, if you don't count all the fucking indie detritus being fucking shoveled onto these consoles. But yeah, it's frankly frustrating and embarrassing, but at the same time, gamers get really mad about a lot of shit, and the stuff they get the most mad about is something they used to have and they don't anymore. When I was younger, it really, boggled my mind, some of the decisions that these companies would make about stuff. But now that I'm a little older, I really see video games as, cheap pieces of plastic, like consoles. It's $300. $300 sounds like a lot, and it is to a lot of people, but, $300 worth of entertainment, it's compare that against how you would spend $300 on entertainment in other fields, and a game console, I mean, sure, it doesn't come with anything free, but it gives you access to the ability to play a wide variety of games. And the Switch games are too fucking expensive. In fact, the PS4 games are too fucking expensive too. All the games on the unless they're on sale, all of them are too fucking expensive. But, when I really think about, what $60 will get me in any other place other than a video game, I won't get as much out of it. Regardless of whether I want to pay $60 for a game, if it's a game I really like, I'm getting way more than $60 out of enjoy. Dark Souls, the amount of times that you might play through Dark Souls, the amount of enjoyment you would get out of it, is not only well worth the cost of the game, it's well worth the cost of the console. If I have to pay $360 to play Dark Souls, that is worth it. And so, those few games that are great, they do make the whole experience worthwhile. It's just all the other shit tangled up in it. And so it's on the one hand, I could be mad about the lack of virtual console. I think it's retarded. It drives me to piracy. I'm obviously can't play these games any other way, so that's how I'm going to do it. But at the same time, I don't want to super hold it against them because it's like, yeah, this seems like it should be easy. It seems like you should be able to do it, and it would definitely improve my consumer experience dramatically. But do I think that by buying a $300 console, I am entitled to all of gaming history, or even a company's whole history? Not really. That's way more than $300 of value, and even if it just took a minimal amount of effort for them to make that stuff available, um, I understand why that minimal amount might be too much for the amount it's worth. Like we can all say like, oh, you can charge for it though, and they charge $8 for a Super Nintendo game, which is a fucking it's a decent amount. Surely they're gonna make that money back, and yeah, maybe they will off of like the top 10 most popular games, but I don't know. I don't know how much it costs for them to go through with it. It's a clusterfuck, but yeah, good on Xbox for actually making it backwards compatible. I mean, I didn't even know that. That's probably the best thing I've ever heard about the Xbone because when I look at that thing, I'm like, why in the fuck would you ever want this thing? Like I still have a 360. Almost everything on the Xbone is on the PS4. What the fuck? Am I gonna buy an Xbone for non-Bungie Halo games and another fucking Gears of War? No, obviously not. So, yeah, yeah, that's that.